Hello, and welcome to another wonderful episode on the Facts About Life. Happy to have you again today. Listen in to what I have to say. Today I'm going to talk about change, the inevitability of change. It is a universal constant in an evolutionary world, such as the one that we inhabit here, good old planet Earth. And I want to talk about the fact that that can't be changed. Change will continue. It's never going to be a static thing. And I wanted to talk about change in relation to our universal rights. The right that every human has in life to live their lives as they want to construct them, as they see fit. So, let's begin. We must all obey the great law of change. Change is inevitable. It is unstoppable. It is the most powerful law of nature. It is an ongoing evolution that has been providentially designed for the conservation and improvement of society. Properly guided, change is a progressive process of renewal and improvement. In responding to change, using virtue and our wisdom traditions as our guiding principles will help us to meet change with courage and dexterity, softening its negative effects. These principles will help us preserve the best of the old by reconciling societal reforms and innovations with the best that our ancestors have given us. And I want to talk now about our universal natural rights and how they must be protected in a world of change. Our wisdom traditions proclaim and define the universal natural rights of everyone, our true and eternal rights. The rights we have been given by God. Sadly, liberalism has redefined mankind's natural rights with some belligerent and poisonous ideas. Liberals have perverted our God-given rights into something they are not. The perverse form of rights they now espouse confounds and confuses our natural rights with material desires, appetite, satisfactions, and hedonistic pleasures. This confusion in the definition and understanding of natural rights is a plague upon our society and our nation today. When rights become confused with desires and wants, and then people don't get what they desire or want, they are easily persuaded to believe that some vast, intangible, conspiracy thwarts their attainment of what they are told is their right, their inalienable right. They then begrudge society for their circumstances and suffer the irritating frustrations such a grudge contains. Sometimes aided and abetted by Democrat, socialist politicos and ideologues, they engage in fear-mongering, terrorism, and violence. Left-wing terrorizing mobs from the Antifa crowd and the Marxist-dominated BLM movements bully and attack people unmercifully. They burn down businesses. They tear down statues of our heroes. They demonize and demean our country. These are the same tactics that were employed by the communist Bolsheviks and Nazi brown shirts and fascist black shirts in their lust for power. The true rights of Americans, that is to say, the natural universal rights bestowed on humankind, are indeed sacred things. These rights need to be properly protected by our laws, because these rights come to us from God's laws. When we are given the liberty to practice our rights and employ our conscience, we are led along the twin avenues of peace and prosperity. Natural human rights are those rights that incorporate human customs with divine intent. The primary purpose of any civil society is the protection of liberty and the right of everyone to enjoy and employ the natural rights that God has bestowed upon humanity. In safeguarding these rights, we must always keep in mind that these rights will be taken away from us if the socialists, communists, anarchists ever obtain to absolute power. We must never let this happen. Because of the way that human life is structured, we are designed to interact with others. As such, we cannot help elbowing our neighbors from time to time. When this happens, our freedom to act in any way we want must be restrained by law and custom. If allowed to act without restraint, many will usurp and tread upon the prerogatives and natural rights of others. Nihilistic beliefs, now rather fashionable among the intellectual circles of academia, these beliefs that we all have the right to act according to our pleasure without any moral tie whatsoever, is both insane and incredibly destructive. This kind of thinking must be shamed and denounced if we are to escape its evils. We all have a right to live. We have a right to justice. whether it is in our personal relations with others, or in our occupations, or in our interactions with government. We have a right to the fruits of our labor. We have a right to be free to make our industry and enterprise fruitful. We have a right to the acquisitions of our parents. To secure these rights for future generations, we have a duty to oversee the character development of our children. We are charged with the sacred duty of instructing our youth about the truths of life. Ideally, using sound moral judgment, people will link their natural rights with their duties and obligations. We have a right to all that our society and governmental institutions can morally and ethically do for us. In our societal partnerships and associations with one another, we all have the right to have our governing bodies protect our equal rights in our partnerships and associations. However, we do not have a God-given right to equal things. Equal justice is a natural right, but equal dividend is no right at all. It's political propaganda. Security from trespass upon our person and properties is a natural right. Power to trespass on others is not. Our American government was based on the concepts of freedom and liberty for all. Everyone would have the liberty to conduct their life and their commerce as they saw fit. Our founders believed that when people were allowed and encouraged to pursue their own way in life, that peace and prosperity were assured. They were right in this judgment. Our Declaration of Independence and our brilliant constitutions were established in this right. Our founding documents were designed to assure the reign of justice, the protection of our rights, and the protection of equal opportunity for everyone in their enterprises and social partnerships. However, it seems to me that when our beliefs about our rights become distorted and perverted into extravagant claims of freedom to act in any way we like without regard or respect for others, or that we have a right to an equal share of society's goods, rights become evil vices, perverted into their opposites. Equality in the sight of God, equality before the law, security in one's property, participation in common activities, freedom of association, and the consolations of civilized society. These are our true natural rights. The true natural rights of humankind, then, are equal justice, the opportunity to prosper through one's labor, industry, and enterprise, security in one's property, the amenities of civilized institutions, the benefits of our infrastructure, and the stability of an orderly society. When these rights are protected, prosperity and peace between us is assured. So let's remember these admonitions from the wisdom traditions of our species as we go forward in our daily lives and in our desires to protect our lives and our liberties, to live in peace and prosperity together. Won't it be great when this happens for us? Making America again, and truly, a great and wonderful and noble country, filled with wonderful people like you that take the time to listen to what I have to tell you about these matters. I love you all. Goodbye for now. Brother Timothy, signing off.